But let's go ahead and dig right into this, okay? So I want to talk a little bit about vision, and this is something that's been in my mind for a long, long time. And I thought the best place to start would be right here. I want to tell a story. And the story goes a little something like this. Rejoice in adversity. All right. Rejoice in adversity. How do we grow as human beings? It's through adversity. Warriors seek out the severest of schools in order to forge their character. Welcome to the severest of schools. Now, I didn't come up with that. A guy by the name of Mark Devine, who we all know, came up with that, founder of SealFit, founder of Unbeatable Mind. Came across one of his videos years ago, and that's something that has always stuck with me. It's had such a profound impact. And he was addressing class for Kokoro, which I believe we all know what Kokoro Camp is, all of us on. But for those who may be watching this recording, Kokoro Camp is a camp that's designed to, it's modeled after Navy SEAL Hell Week, and it's designed to push you mentally, physically, emotionally past all your barriers, all your boundaries, so you can just discover who you really are. And when Mark said that on the video, the hair literally rose on the back of my neck, and I got goosebumps. And I said, I gotta go. I don't know why, but I gotta go to that camp. Now, this isn't Kokoro Camp, and this isn't modeled after Navy SEAL Hell Week or anything like that. But what this is this is School of Grit. So welcome to School of Grit. And what we have here is we've created a community designed to help you develop the mindset to overcome adversity. Because that's one of the big things we hit on here in School of Grit, is inviting what I refer to as purposeful adversity into your life, and just letting that forge your character and let it model you into the best version of yourself. And our mission, quite simply here, is to turn you into a situationally aware, able-bodied warrior who can tackle anything life will throw your way. And that's our mission. It's pretty simple. Why are we launching this tribe? There's lots of reasons why I originally thought of launching this, but it really dials down to one particular thing, and that is crisis does not discriminate. I mean, let's face it. If you watch the news, I don't, but I hear certain things. You know, it's all over social media or whatever. Doesn't seem like the world's getting any safer, does it? There's just lots of crazy stuff going on out there, and crisis doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter your background. Crisis doesn't know gender. It doesn't know race. It doesn't know education. It doesn't know financial situation. And most people either hope crisis won't happen to them, or if it does, that they'll be able to reach deep down and they're able to overcome. They're able to rise to the occasion. And I believe, you know, the problem with number one is that bad shit just happens to everyone. I mean, it does. It's not a matter of if, but when adversity or crisis is going to come to your front door. But I believe the bigger problem, in fact, is with the second piece, and that is failure to cultivate your mind, failure to cultivate your body, your spirit to overcome adversity. It's a major mistake. In fact, it could be fatal in some situations. And the simple fact is, we don't rise to the occasion. To me, that's bullshit. We fall back to the level of our training. And that right there is what School of Grit is for. And you're here with me today, and those listening, you're here to train. And that's what we're going to bring to you is training. So this community, it's for men, it's for women, it's for anyone who just despises mediocrity. For those folks who refuse to define themselves by society's standard, and they seek to become the best versions of themselves and become what I refer to as a modern day warrior. So with that, I want to ask you guys, because I'm tired of talking, but when I say the word warrior, it's got a lot of different meanings. I want to ask you all, when I say warrior, what comes up? How would you define a warrior? Because I have my own definition that I'll share with you, but I want to hear what you all have to say first. You can take yourself off mute there, Bert. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I see an element of self-sufficiency. You know, it goes down the EMS services, fire, police, medical. They could be overwhelmed, and you're going to have to be self-sufficient to some degree.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that, Bert. Anyone else?
Yeah, I think of the 300, the movie The 300, where it's like standing in that gap, that corridor, and standing right there is epitome of warrior when I think about it.
Love it. Thanks, Brett.
Yeah, I agree with both gentlemen that went before me. But it's also, I also see being a warrior in the context of our daily lives. You know, being a warrior as a husband, being a warrior as a father, being a warrior as a man in our community. You know, life, like you said, there's so many VUCA moments that come at us daily. You know, how do we react in those situations? You know, do we just kind of shrink in fear? Do we kind of sit there confused, not knowing what to do, or are we prepared to face the hurdle, however small or however large, with valor, with integrity, you know, honor, all those things. So yeah, to me, it's a warrior in everyday life, for sure.
Yeah, right on. And you threw a big acronym out there, HAV, VUCA. So for those who don't know, VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Just it's a word that encompasses all the craziness that's going on right now. Thanks, man. Stu, Ross, Courtney, what about you guys?
Yeah, I'll throw something in there. I think the folks have done a good job in expressing it. I've tried to boil my stuff down sometimes. My belief, and as some of you know, my belief usually consists of both what I think, what I feel, and what I sense. So brain, heart, and gut. Warrior is a human being that through their primal spirit takes action with courage and grit.
Love it. Kind of queued up a softball there for me.
I got your 6.
Right on. Love it. Ross, Courtney, what about you two? Hey, what's up, John? Glad you could join us, by the way.
Yeah, definitely the word courage came up for me, and the courage to seek the victory of whatever you're pursuing. Seek to win and come out on top and overcome no matter what.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I echo a lot of what's already been said, but also I see it as someone who can serve and protect themselves and their loved ones.
Boom. Another softball, Ross. It's like you knew exactly what I was going to say next. So all those definitions are great. The reason I asked is I think if you ask 100 people, you're going to get 100 different definitions of what a warrior is. I mean, traditionally, I think a warrior is, you know, a professionally trained fighter or person in the military, law enforcement, first responder, something along those lines. But I think being a warrior is inside of every one of us, and it is. It's that ability to fight, to protect yourself and those around you. Absolutely, that's a huge part of it. You know, if you're in a situation where something's happening, are you going to step up? Are you going to do what's right? Are you going to feed courage, or are you just going to do nothing? And let's face it, people nowadays like to take these things out and videotape what's going on and post it up when it's like they could have been there trying to help someone out. I mean, that stuff drives me nuts. Being a warrior is all about too serving your purpose. If you follow those ancient cultures of of warrior cultures, whether it's, you know, Spartans or samurais or you name it, they all have an ethos, they all have a code, they all have principles that guide them every day. And that's exactly what we train here in School of Grit, is helping you identify your purpose so you can set up the right goals and feed courage so that you can tackle those. You know, you're not afraid to. And if you get hit and you fall down, you bounce back up, right? You bounce back up better. And it's also about developing the grit to achieve mission success no matter what. And we're going to dig into grit a little bit here, since of course this is a School of Grit. And one of the ways we grow our grit is by seeking out purposeful adversity. And what I mean by that is things that you know are good for you. I'm not talking about putting yourself in harm's way on purpose, but things that are hard, but you know that are good for you. You know, because that's how we grow. That's how we cultivate ourselves. But, you know, as with warrior, I think grit has a lot of different definitions as well. So I want to throw that to the group as well. Brett, you're making me want to grab a towel every time I see
Sorry,
you towel
brother.
off and that. No, you're
Sorry,
good. You're
brother.
good. I am.
Sorry.
I want to get one. So
Yeah.
it looks money. I'm gonna have to talk to you offline and see what your setup is, because I could use a little bit of that in my life. But as it revolves around the word grit, what comes up for you all? How would you define grit?
I would say purposefully leaning into discomfort. Could be a cold shower in the morning.
I definitely don't like those.
But, you know, if you take one, you feel really, really good for the rest of the day. So
Isn't that amazing when comfort's taken away and then you get it back? It's like, oh, it's just a newfound respect for it, for stuff that we take for granted every day, whether it's, like you said, being warm or having food, having light, fire, whatever that might be. Yep. Love it. What else? It's a hard one to identify if you haven't thought about it too long. Stu, do you have something? Looks like you took yourself off mute.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to verbalize it. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that our language necessarily depicts the essence of the idea. For me, one of the things that brings it to a place of tangibility, I don't know if that's a proper word, but I'm going to use it, is the Smoke Jumpers Creed. We do today what others don't, so that we can do tomorrow what others can't. And so taking that mission-oriented perspective of making it happen, getting it done, and breaking it down, if what you need to do is take a cold shower each morning to show up in a way that's the best version of yourself to accomplish the mission, then that's what you need to do, or should want to do. Or coming back to defining the why behind someone's behavior. So the why to do something or be something, or the why not to be or do something. And so taking that to a place of, for instance, Chad 1000, that some of the folks here on this call did. I'll let you explain more if you'd like, but it basically is an effort to take you past your comfort zone, to bring you to a place of, wow, this is hard. This is going to take some time and energy and effort, but the investment will be worth it, because after the fact, you will have been in a place where you know that you can persevere or have grit. So I hope that tied that a bit together for those of you that don't know the Smoke Jumpers Creed. it's very powerful.
It's one of my favorites. Actually, I have it written down in my garage gym. It's been there for several years because I love that creed. Thanks, Stu. Appreciate it.
I'm going to follow Stu's lead on just making up a word like tangibility or something. I call it stick-a-to-itiveness. Stick-to-itivity. It's activities that you stick to. That's grit.
Velcro.
Yep.
Stick-to-itivity, exactly.
Exactly.
Velcro.
I love that word. I'm not even going to try to say it because first rule of public speaking, if you have a word you know you're going to stumble over, don't freaking say it. Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. I was just talking to my daughter about that actually the other day because I'm trying to get her to develop a morning routine. And unfortunately, she's got one of these things. So I catch her on it all the time. And I literally sat down with her this morning and we were carving out. She's got plenty of time to work on stuff, but you can choose what that is, whether it's studying more, working out, working on a business. I mean, you name it, right? You got 30 minutes, like let's spend this. And I was trying to convey to her basically grit, but what you all have said, and that is sticking with something over the long haul. It's not good enough just to go, okay, there's 7 days in a week. Yeah, one day of the week I went, hard in the paint on something. It's like, no, it's that consistent effort over time. The Velcro, we'll say.
Well, she has a morning routine, Coach.
Oh, she has one. Yes.
We all have a morning routine.
She could have a better one. Yes, you're right. We all have one, whether we know it or not. It's a good point. All right. You guys nailed it with grit and illustrated the simple fact that it's not easy to come up with a definition of it. It's one of those things that has lots of different meanings to different people. And it's kind of hard to measure too. Like, how do you know if someone's quote unquote gritty or not? And we'll get into that later. There are some ways that you can try to measure that. The bottom line is this: it can be grown. It absolutely can be grown. I've actually come up with my own definition of grit. This has evolved over a period of several years. And my definition actually has 4 parts to it. And I like to say that grit is uncommon perseverance in the face of adversity, backed by a strong why to achieve a worthy goal. Now that's a mouthful, so I'm going to say it again. Grit is uncommon perseverance in the face of adversity, backed by a strong why to achieve a worthy goal. Uncommon perseverance, we know what that is. That's, resilience. That's that burn the boats, never say die sort of attitude. Adversity comes in many forms. Could be your job, career, family, friends stressing you out, Mother Nature. As we talked about earlier on in this call, adversity and crisis, they don't discriminate, right? It's not a matter of if, but when stuff's going to happen. And as we like to say here, one of our taglines at School of Grit is, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. And we're going to teach you how to stay ready and how to cultivate that warrior's mindset. So some of the areas we're going to train on together.
Wait. Yeah. What was the last one? You said with a powerful why, and then what's the last one?
To achieve a worthy goal. Yeah, thanks, Brett.
A worthy goal. Yeah.
Yep. So backed by a strong why, knowing why you're doing something. I mean, we've probably all heard of Simon Sinek and his book Why, or if you haven't, check it out. It's awesome, but it's pretty easy. Look at anything you're doing right now and ask yourself, why am I doing this? But ask yourself 3 to 5 times and you'll get to that root reason of why you're doing it. And it's a great exercise to do because it's also going to teach you what to say no to, which is super important because a lot of us have a tendency of over-committing and committing to too many different things. Thanks, Brett, for making me stay on track. And to achieve a worthy goal, that kind of, goes the having the strong why feeds into the goal part of knowing whether or not this goal serves me or not. It's okay to quit stuff. It's okay to quit shit. I quit shit all the time. I've quit bad relationships. I've quit terrible jobs. What you don't want to do is give up. Giving up's different. Giving up's tied more closely to your purpose, things of that nature. And we'll talk more about that on our future calls. But yeah, that's my 4-parter definition for grit. Oh yeah. So that's what we're going to be training on together, guys. Obviously, School of Grit. We're going to be training our grit. Some of the areas that we're going to be focusing on, and this will expand, but we're going to be training on, physical fitness, PT, physical training. I host a call every Saturday morning that you all are invited to. Anyone in the tribe is invited to. And I've even had calls where I'm the only one on. That's okay, because I'm still doing it. But I invite you to train alongside me and train alongside your fellow community. And every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock Eastern, I lead PT from the garage. So it's usually about an hour, sometimes 2 if we got something going on. But that's one of the ways that we train grit. And that's more on, obviously, the physical fitness side. But we train mental toughness. We train emotional resiliency. We develop our warrior spirit 2 ways. Warrior spirit, meaning purpose, coming up with an ethos, all the stuff we talked about before. But then also we've got Javier on here too, who's my right-hand man. He's got a call that's dedicated towards, strengthening your relationship with God and the Holy Spirit, if that's your jam. So we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at breath and meditation, nutrition, optimal performance, entrepreneurship, situational awareness, which is huge, especially now, tactical medicine, self-defense, and much, much, much more. So we got a lot coming at you. We've sent out the email for the month of December, which everybody should have, all those different calls, what the subject matters are. That will change as we progress through the year, because I have other guest coaches who will be starting in January and February and things of that nature. So I'm super excited to roll those folks out to you. And this is just all about coming together as a team and training together. As far as, expectations go, what can you expect from me? What can you expect from School of Grit? Well, you can expect to be surrounded by a team of professionals, like-minded people. Like we're here, we're bigger than ourselves. We're here to serve humanity. We're here to help each other out. So I don't just let anyone into this group just because you can, pay the monthly tuition or whatever. I mean, yeah, that's great, but you need to be a good person. So I interview every single person that comes into this group, because I want to make sure they're of the highest caliber. You're going to have a safe, secure place to talk about anything and everything. I mean, literally nothing is out of bounds. To me, that's where the magic happens. We'll have some special calls each month that are dedicated specifically to that, where you can show up and present something you're working on, or, hey, I got a problem with this, or, hey, I'm experiencing this. How would you deal with it? Those calls are awesome. Those are usually some of the best calls all month, because we get real, we get authentic, and we talk about the real shit. So all of our calls are going to be live via Zoom, just like we're doing now, throughout the month, and each one's going to be recorded. Right now, I'm trying to figure out where those recordings are going to live. They might be on a private Slack channel. They could be on YouTube unlisted, to which I would give you the link or the access to the channel. So more to come on that, everybody. But as I mentioned just before, we will have a private Slack channel that we're going to start for accountability and communication. That's likely all going to change as we move through. I'm actually looking at some different platforms for memberships. There's a lot out there. I haven't really zeroed in on the one that I'm going with yet, but I'm in the exploratory phase. So just hang on for that, because that's going to really help with, just being able to access those recordings real time, communication, all that good stuff. You can expect to have lots of guest instructors, lots of guest coaches, lots of really cool expert interviews coming in. That's going to be a lot of fun, getting some people in here. Live event access. So I haven't told too many people about this, but School of Grit's going to have a live event next year, y'all. It's going to be in fall. I don't know the date yet, but it's going to be amazing, because it's going to be a chance for us to actually experience purposeful adversity in a safe environment led by a professional cadre. So it's great that we've been learning these tools and trying to employ them ourselves, but the idea is for us to come together and work together as a team and face our fears and know how we react in stressful environments and things like that. So more to come. We're still in the very much in the planning stage on that, but you guys will have first dibs, first access to that as well, because I'm sure that will fill up. And then we're going to have some bonus surprises. And if I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise. So we'll leave that there. Now, what do I expect from you all? Look at this like a school, number one. So attend the classes that are for you. Don't attend the ones that you don't really care as much about. Just know that all the calls are recorded. So you'll be able to access them at any time. And if you do show up, just participate. That's all I really ask. You know, I've definitely had some calls in the past, I won't name names or anything, where, you know, people didn't turn their camera on or they weren't mic'd, and it was like me talking to a blank screen. And that is just absolutely no fun for the presenter. And I don't think it was a lot of fun for the people on the other side. So if you do show up, I just ask you to just be present. Now I understand like things are going to come up, or you got to put your camera on or go hit the bath, whatever, but just participate. That's all I ask. Cause that's where the magic is when people, so what I've noticed in coaching is technology. I have a love-hate relationship with technology. But one thing I do love is I think technology provides a little bit of safety, especially when we're in coaching calls, and it allows people to get real quicker versus being in person where someone in the same room, people have their guard up. I just feel like, to me, at least my experiences with technology, and especially over Zoom or whatever medium you're using, you know, there's safety and distance, I guess is what I'd say there, which I love. So just participate and be you, just be your authentic self. And then, you know, always be looking to help others out, because that's what we're doing here. It's all about service to others. I'm done talking. That was my agenda. So I will open it up to questions to see if you all have any questions. It's all good, Brett. Thanks for going, brother. Stu, fire away.
Will you please expand on the notion of the magic you just mentioned?
The magic? Well, if I told you the secret behind the magician's tricks, they wouldn't be magic anymore. No, I'm kidding. It's really, I said magic, but what I have seen, and because I've been coaching now for probably almost 6 years, and all of it's been online. But what I've seen, the groups that do the best, that perform the best, not only do they show up, but they participate, and they're talking about real shit. Like, everybody's got stuff that's going on in their life, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, financial, you name it. And when people come together and they're there for a common reason, and they're there to help each other out, the magic is the feeling that you have after you leave the call. That's what I'm after, is you leave that call and you're like, damn, that was worth my time. Or, man, I'm so glad I made it, because I got to help so-and-so out. Or, shoot, I didn't know how I was going through this, or, you know, you name it. And then not only that, what happens offline, because the calls are the calls and they're great. But when you're part of a real community, like, I expect you all, I want you all to reach out to each other, introduce yourself, you know, see how you can help each other out. You know, I have met so many, we'll call them my internet friends, through groups like this, though. And it's just been awesome. It's opened up my mind, and it's opened up my world to just new possibilities. I'm of the opinion, I can't remember who I heard this from, but sometimes you're just one conversation away from changing the trajectory of your life. I mean, really, it's that simple. So reach out. Reach out. If you're ever in trouble, especially reach out, you know, because that's when you need to be active the most. And I see it all the time. Typically when like real stuff starts happening, either attendance drops, people aren't as active on whatever communication channel, that's usually a telltale indicator. I'm like, all right, something's going on. So use that intuition, because we're going to work on intuition, but listen to that. It's your friend. Does that work, Stu?
Yeah, I think
That's the magic.
No, yeah, and I think that's good. I think the magic is just that, like in its simplest form. It's just we come, like you said, we come to these communities with a reason. I like personally the magic, I could speak to my, from my experience, the magic was I found myself in life in a place where I was just going down the wrong road. To the whole world, I appeared to be doing great, great career, beautiful wife, 2 young children, all these things. But inside, I was a man who was crumbling and who was still subject to the traumas of my childhood, to my adolescent years, my 20s and 30s, which were just a train wreck, basically, and so I was always looking for something, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. And once I started seeking out communities like School of Grit, Unbeatable Minds, Seal Fit, those communities are where I found that magic that I was looking for, which my local friends, family, my community, wherever, couldn't provide for me. And the one thing that was different was, like Brad had mentioned, is the online community part, because I think everybody's coming together with a common goal to grow. Of course, people take different growth avenues, but you're all there and like-minded people in a situation, in an environment that's really safe, and that this online thing provides a barrier that allows you to be so much more vulnerable. A lot of us, some people are just wide open, but that magic happens there when you find yourself all of a sudden in this community where, like, man, I could really talk about this. This person has this experience. I don't know them from Adam, but man, we're really connecting on this, and we're growing and we're thriving off of each other. I think that's what these communities provide, is that extra growth explosion that we don't find when we're just sitting there depending on our own abilities to overcome whatever it may be in life. So I think that's, at least for me, that was the magic.
And that's why I call it tribe too. Thank you, Javier. Is we weren't meant to go through life alone. We just weren't. If you look at civilization hundreds of years ago, how did we survive? We survived in tribes, and people had their job, whether they were hunter gatherer. People knew their neighbors. My gosh, there's so many people that probably don't even know who's living right behind them or right next to them. That's just the day and age we live in. But thanks, Hav. And it has a domino effect. I've seen it time and time again. All it takes is one person to really open up and get real, and then it's like, boom, the floodwaters open, and everybody gets super comfortable and they feel safe. And those are those magical moments I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, I think that's a great perspective. And one of the things that, as I was monitoring my internal state, as both you and Javier were sharing, it came back to as well that tribal component. And if we circle back to where we started with what is a warrior, I think that spirit of tribe and connection is certainly within each of us as human beings. And so that ability to connect and be vulnerable, be authentic, for those that aren't so warm and fuzzy with the word vulnerable. But yet that's where you come back to that component of being discomfort in those capacities, whether it's the physical, the mental, or the emotional, spiritual. I think that having that ability to connect with others and seeing their struggle and saying, hey, let's do this together. Let's see what we can do. And I mentioned earlier, having your 6, that Brad and I have grown to be good friends, both personally and professionally. And it's really looking out for that person, even though it's virtual. I get connection out of being present with self and with others. And the ability to do that, coming back to the question of explain more about magic, and Brad knows a little bit about this and a few others do here too, but the experience of what is flow, that place of connection and being a high level performer, you actually are, there's synergy, which is the sum of parts are not just the sum, it's greater than the sum. So I'll leave it there, but I really appreciate you, bringing up that component of magic and what that means to the School of Grit and to the community here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, so I think this is a great opportunity. Let's get real right now. I mean, let's just jump right into it. So with the time we have left, because I want to keep this to about an hour, we got 15 minutes. I thought it'd be really cool. I don't think everybody knows one another, but if you could just give a quick intro, just who you are, where you live, what you do for a living. And then I want you to answer this question. This is the way we're going to get, we're going to get real. We're going to get real quick. And that is, where does your gut say you need to grow grit in your life right now? So what's your gut telling you? Like, oh man, I need to kind of, maybe I'm a little weak here. I need to shore my game up here. I'm just really frustrated with this. Could be in your business, could be family. Take some time, think about it. But we're going to do that. We're going to get real right now. And like I said, it only takes one person. Only takes one person to raise their, oh, Bert's already right there.
I'm leaning into the discomfort of yeah.
That's where you should be.
Yeah, my name is Bert Pical. I started my career in civil engineering, and then I became a ski patroller for 30 years, and I just retired from that. Also got divorced after 41 years. So if I was going to lean into some grit, I did all the things my therapist told me not to do at the same time. And that took some grit. And there's days that are pretty hard after all that. But I live in central Utah, in probably the most beautiful spot on the planet. And yeah, that's who I am. That's what I'm about. And I have to surround myself with high functioning people. And that's why I'm here. Where I live, there's maybe 100 people for 3 hours away. So it's pretty remote.
I've seen a picture of Bert's place. It's amazing. I mean, it's right out of a painting. Yep.
Wow.
Thank you, Bert. Thank you for being the first to go through the door and share and be real. Thank you.
I'll go next.
Courtney.
Yes. Hi, everybody. You probably are new to me, but I've seen all of your faces before, which has been awesome. I've been working with Brad for about a year now, supporting him in the growth of School of Grit and the book and all that fun stuff. So even though I'm new to these calls, I'm not new to everything that School of Grit encompasses, and why I'm excited to be here and grow more with y'all. I currently live near the Bay Area in California. I work from home full time. And I teach some dance fitness. So we talked about that being some fun stuff. My active lifestyle. I have a toddler at home and I'm pregnant with my second. So as far as the physical aspect of this, I'm going to be a little more limited, but hey, we're going to be in this. And I'd say for me, it's just another level I'm looking to pursue I mean, no problems necessarily in my family, but just knowing that bringing another life into this world and wanting to step up as a wife and a mother. I'm excited to take on whatever level is there for me. So seeking that now, because I know it's coming.
Love it. I can't think of many things that are more scary than, you know, about to bring a new child into the world. I mean, it's definitely up there. Yep. You've come to the right place. Thanks, Courtney. Courtney's amazing, by the way. I want to take, you know, the proper time to brag on her, but that would take the next 30 minutes. But she's just awesome. I'm so lucky I found her. She's one of the main reasons that I'm where I'm at today. I mean, really, with the book launch, with everything you see from social media. That might be me. Might be my words, but she's the magician behind the curtain in Wizard of Oz. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Hey, I'll go. I'm Javier Mesa. I am Brad's swim buddy and partner here, and we've been friends for quite a while. Brad was the one who inspired me to take this journey with beginning with SchoolofGrit Crucible event. I was looking for something. I'm always looking for something just to kick me in my ass. And I was desperate one day. I had called him, and I knew he had done Kokoro, and it's like, man, I really need something to just kind of light a fire under me right now. So anyway, that day led me to SchoolofGrit event, and man, we just started training together, and we went through coaching certification together, and plenty of other things. And so yeah, here we are now trying to grow this amazing tribe, and we're thriving and growing with everyone here, and it's just been a great experience. I'm married, been with my wife 18 years, have 2 kids, Ava and Sam, beautiful, amazing kids who also are very familiar with this lifestyle. I'm just so thankful that I've had the opportunity to change the change of dysfunction in my life, and create a new legacy in my own family, and my kids are really they're really embracing this, and I just love watching them grow and thrive with a different mindset than a lot of their friends, you know. Wow, I could just say so much about my relationship with Brad and over the years, but I just really appreciate you, man. You've been a huge influence in my life, and I thank you. And then as far as grit is concerned, you know, I had mentioned earlier about my younger years. I'm 52, but I didn't really grow up until I was about 40. You know, like I said, on the surface, I was successful doing all these things, and but you know, I was just really wasting away and not paying attention to my life, and in particular finances. You know, I made a lot of money, I spent a lot of money, and so now I'm trying to play catch up with that part of my life. And unfortunately, my wife and I, we have, you know, good jobs and whatnot, but it's tough with 2 kids. So I think I need to grow a little more financial grit, so that we can really get back on track and make up for some wasted time, some wasted years. So that's me in a nutshell right there.
Thanks, Hob. Awesome.
I can go. Joined the call late. Got wrapped up in some work stuff. My name is John Forsberg. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm married, have 2 kids, 7 and 5. And I've known Brad for, 3 years now, something like that. Who knows? And when he started the School of Grit stuff, I knew I had to be on board, because the Unbeatable Mind stuff and just the way that we wanted to go about doing this stuff spoke to me a little bit. And yeah, over the past, I think we've been doing the School of Grit stuff for a little, a year and a half now with him and his first team. And it's been great. Just the team and atmosphere. And I've done a bunch of pretty tough Go Ruck events. I haven't bit the bullet and done any of the Unbeatable Mind stuff yet, but I've done some pretty tough Go Ruck events, and just having the training and the breath work and the mental attitude to get through some of that stuff has been huge. And just knowing that there's a team that I'm going to have to report back to on how I did, has helped me get through a lot of that stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, John. John is the kind of like the silent assassin type. That dude's such a hard worker. Don't let him fool you. Do you have an area in your life, John, where you're like, man, I need to shore this up, or what comes up?
The business stuff. I'm an independent freelance developer doing database work and just programming computer stuff. And it's kind of been stagnant for a couple of years because I'm in this kind of sweet spot where I've got a couple of clients that keep me going, and I got to figure out where I want to go with it next. I've been tossing and turning ideas for a while, and it's just I need to buckle down and do something with it or figure something out. So that's kind of where my focus is, like going into 2023, is I need to really do something with it and figure out where I want to go next, because I'm getting kind of stagnant with what I'm doing now.
Right on, man. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right. I think there's 2 left. Ross?
Yeah, I can go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Ross, native New Englander, live in the Hudson Valley region of New York now. I've been here for over 10 years, married, girl dad, 2 girls, 10 and 7, civil geotechnical engineer. Where I'm looking
Wait a minute. Do we have 3 engineers on the call? I just
3?
Stu, Bert, and Ross. I think
Yeah.
that's first time ever. First time ever. All right. Must be something in the water.
It's technical up in here.
Yeah. So yeah, being in a house, I am the only male here with 3 very strong-willed women, and my daughters being 10 and 7. There's already intensity in the household, and I think where I need to grow my grit is to know as a husband and a father, and to know when to lead and step in a calm, strong fashion, and not to escalate things.
Love it, man. Ross is, since I've been hosting these Saturday morning workouts, I don't think Ross has missed a single one in like a year and a half. He is Mr. Consistency. John's always getting after it too, but John's a part of, I don't know if y'all are familiar with F3. If not, you can check them out online, but it's a huge community. So John's like a kind of like a lead main staple there. So we allow that. We know he's getting after it, but man, Ross, he's strong. We'll just put it that way.
And his daughters,
Very
I think his daughter's in one of the calls.
His daughters will work
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, y'all. With these workouts, I encourage you, invite your neighbors, get your family, whatever. It doesn't cost anything. Just bring them, just show up. It's fun. It's a
Yeah,
good
my
time.
youngest at 6 did a half Murph while we were doing Murph.
Yep. It was
Damn.
awesome. Yeah. All right. Last but not least, the last engineer in the group.
Yeah, Rit. So it's an honor, a pleasure to be here virtually. I look forward to seeing everyone face to face someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am in the weeds here.
Was that by design?
Yes.
Love it. Engineers,
Actually, it's
man, I
left
tell you what.
over. It's left over. I didn't realize I had it set as the screensaver or the background. So
I like
I'm
it.
actually right now on the Central Coast with my dad in California, south of San Francisco, Courtney. They're in the San Luis Obispo area in Cambria. But I make most of my time in Carson City, Nevada, which is by Reno and South Lake Tahoe. I am a former fire captain paramedic for the city of Stockton, and also spent some time in the military. My why for being here is to continue the mission of making a difference. I've done it pretty much all my life. I'm a team-oriented individual, and really enjoy the notion of mission, team, then self. And I'm here to learn and grow from you all. And Brad and I have spent a number of hours together, both face to face, but more so virtually. But I see the time where that will transition. And I think that and I sense and I feel that this is a good place. I believe in the School of Grit and what the culture brings, and that I look forward to just being present and helping out. So with that said, where I can grow my grit really is probably twofold, both in my personal and professional life. While they're hard to split out, I think that there's room for me. I'm single, and there's room for me in both of those. The transition from coming out of the fire service has been challenging, and so yeah, we can talk more about that. We're up against our time frame here, and really appreciate the opportunity. So thank you all.
Well, thank you, Stu. Yeah, thank you all for joining. This has just been awesome. Great inaugural call. And just a couple quick little housekeeping pieces. The next School of Grit call will be Saturday morning PT. It's the same Zoom room, same password. So hold on to that. It's going to be the same for all of our calls. So Ross, special note, that one that we've been using, we're going to delete that one. We're going to go to this new one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I am in the midst of putting together a Slack channel, and I'm going to invite you all too, so that, you know, we can maintain comms on that for now. That'll likely evolve. And then after Saturday, our first guest instructor, guest coach is none other than Coach Steve Stewart, who we have here as well. So his call is going to be on Tuesday, December 6th at noon Eastern, where we're going to dig into tactical fitness and lots of other, you know, pretty cool things. And I will send out right now. I think what I'm going to do, the battle rhythm will be so on Sunday, I'll probably email out all the calls that are happening that week. I thought about sending them all, but you would have had like 15 emails from me, and I was like, I don't want to just explode someone's inbox. So that's what we got right now. It's a manual process. It'll evolve. We'll automate this baby so it's easy and it'll integrate into your calendar. So look for that on Sunday. I'll try to update everybody's inbox with what the calls are for that week. Cool. You guys are awesome. That's all I got for you. Anything last minute?
It said, Brad, you built me up for the Saturday morning workout, so I'm gonna miss my first one this Saturday. My daughter has an indoor soccer tournament.
Well, you know, that happens. It's all good.
Yeah,
You can always squeeze a couple air squats in at the soccer game.
that's right.
That's right.
And he does. He does those big fan of who is it? Iron Wolf?
Yeah,
right?
Iron Wolf, yeah.
If you haven't heard it, check him out online. It's something else. So yeah,
He's
I'm
hardcore
sure he'll be
burpees,
doing it.
yeah.
He's hardcore burpees, man.
I throw up a little bit just looking at his workouts.
Yes,
He'll be doing 10 pumps
that's
all
right.
day.
That's right. All right, y'all.
Most
Great
people
call.
just call those push-ups.
Yeah, push-ups. That's right. So we're going to be getting into it, right? Physical fitness, of course, but we're going to be going mental, emotional. Ooh, scary place to be, but we gotta get into all that stuff. That's how we develop as human beings and develop that whole body, mind, body, soul, strong body,
Right.
strong mind, strong team. And that's what we're going to have here. That's what we have here. So
Yeah.
awesome, y'all. Thanks for joining. Catch you next time.
Everybody.
Take care, everybody.
Good seeing y'all.